Hey you guys, this is Reese Omega, and you are watching Hey Sis TV. Now I hope you're ready to get your life. I hope you're ready for these thoughts. I hope you're ready for these opinions, and I hope you're ready for this tea, because you're all gonna get it on Hey Sis TV. Hey you guys, this is Reese Omega, and you are watching another episode of Hey Sis TV. Baby, I'm here. You ain't getting rid of me. I ain't going nowhere. Anyway, hey sis, I want to tell you my coming out story. Okay? Around 2:30-ish p.m., August 24th, 19 I was born. End of video. My coming out story. I hope it inspired y'all, and I hope I could touch people to come out as well. Come out of the closet, y'all. No, for real. I want to tell my coming out story. I think it's kind of interesting. Okay, you ready? Let's go. My coming out story is it's kind of short, but it's not. There's a lot of detail to it. I knew at a very early age, like I could remember back to like being 3 or 4 years old. And I always felt I wasn't like the other boys. I always gravitated towards girls as a child, even at 3 or 4. I loved pretty things. Like I loved Barbie dolls, My Little Pony, all that. Like that shit was beautiful to me. I didn't know what gay was, but I knew that I loved those things. And also the music. Like I was 4 or 5 years old, dancing around my house with a towel on my head for hair, because I'm a drag queen at heart. A towel wrapped around me, and I would dance to En Vogue, I would dance to RuPaul, I would dance to TLC, and like all the great like Tony Braxton's, Whitney Houston's, Mariah Carey's. I would dance to their music like I was a part of the video. I remember the most dancing to En Vogue. En Vogue, Free Your Mind was my shit when I was like 5 or 6. Like I used to give you a full out drag show with that song. Couldn't tell me anything. I was the original RuPaul's Drag Race winner. Okay? So I always knew I was a little different than the other boys, and other boys did that. And I think what made me what made me know that I was a homosexual. I started kind of like connecting the dots a little bit, because I never really had to talk with my parents about what gay was, because this was like the early 90s, like I never really talked about it. So I think TV kind of taught me. The summer breaks, there's a lot of Jerry Springer watching, and Jenny Jones and Ricky Lake and the Oprah Show and Donahue and Sarah, what's her name? Sally Jesse Raphael. Like these would have like drag queens and gay people on the show, and I would identify with these people. Like I would be like, yeah, I get it. Like I get them. I felt like I was a part of that community. So going from like young child to like maybe 6, 7, 8, the attraction to boys started. You know, playing house, I will always want to be the mother or the sister that had a boyfriend or a husband. I was, and I wanted to be like the matriarch of the playing house, and I had crushes on like my childhood friends. I remember this one boy that lived right next door to me. I'm not gonna say his name because his sister, which is my friend, watches this. I won't say his name, just for confidentiality. But I had the biggest crush on this boy that lived next door to me. Like, I was in love with him. I followed him around the neighborhood like a sick puppy. And I knew that I had that feeling that what I was doing was not accepted. That it wasn't normal for a little boy to be crushing on another little boy. So I knew that this was something that I could not tell anybody. And I think that's when my parents started kind of like, our son might be different. Particularly my mother, I feel she was very aware of the possibility that I would have been a gay man growing up. She kind of like wanted to nurture because I was an artistic kid too. Like I wanted to draw and paint and do artistic things. So I kind of think she nurtured that. I kind of think she knew I'm gonna be special, and that she had to be soft with me. My father wanted a son. Like he wanted me to play football. He wanted me to ride bikes in the neighborhood and play catch ball and play with G.I. Joes and race cars, which to appease him, I would. Like Christmas time, I would get 2 sets of everything. I would get a Barbie and a G.I. Joe. I would just to like, I guess they thought to even it out a little bit, I guess is that they thought they were doing. But I would just put Barbie on top of the race car and like ride her around. Like Barbie was riding Tonka trucks, okay? By the age of 8 or 9, I knew I was gay. I knew I was gonna grow up to be a gay person at that time. When it started to become an issue for, I would say, like classmates, is like maybe 5th through like middle school, like 5th grade to middle school. I think that's when people start to kind of like form who they are. So I was much more feminine, much more softer than the other boys. I went to Lombard Middle School in Baltimore City, in East Baltimore, in between 2 sets of projects. This was basically, my mother used to call it the Baltimore City Detention Center because this school was horrible. I used to get picked on a lot for being much more softer and much more feminine than the other boys. And I kind of, but at the same time, it was like, I wasn't the kind of little gay boy that hid that they were gay. Like I might have got bullied for it, but I still didn't butch up. I still didn't try to harden myself to not get picked on. I was still Reese. A lot of traumatic things happened to me because I was feminine. And it was not just that, it was like the femininity and the weight. Like I was a fat feminine boy, which everybody thought I should have been in the football field. Everybody thought that I should have been, wrestling or something, a 12-year-old, 13-year-old boy would be doing. But no, I was singing and I was drawing pictures and I was coloring and I was painting and creating, and so I got picked on for that. But I never wavered though. Like I never changed who I was. I never diminished my personality for my classmates. Then in high school, I felt like I was going to bust. Like being gay for me in the first year of high school was insane. Like I didn't know what to do with myself. The gayness, the rainbow flags were bursting at the seams out my body. Like I wanted to say, I'm gay. I'm a homosexual. Hear me roar. Like, yeah, the long story short, the main coming out story was one day it's like 10th grade. I came home from school and I was very distraught because there was this guy that I was crushing on in high school. that was kind of like leading me on. Like, he knew I had a crush on him, and he was also like, he said he was bisexual. He was leading me on. Like, my little tender 15-year-old heart was being pulled. One day after, like, I think it was some kind of drama rehearsal, he was supposed to like go to the bus stop with me and be on the bus with me, and he didn't. Like, I saw him sneak out the back of the school with some girl. I said, oh shit. Like, I was distraught. I was fucking upset. So I went home and I was noticeably depressed and noticeably bothered. And my mother was like, what's wrong with you? I was like, nothing. Like, I just don't, feel like talking. And she was like, well, no, what's wrong? Like, you're not yourself. Like, you're quiet. I was never quiet at home. You're quiet. You're drawing back. What is wrong? Like, she was like, is it school? And I said, no. Because in high school, I didn't have a real bad bullying problem in high school. She was like, is it somebody that you like? It's like she kind of knew that I was upset about a person. And I was like, yes. Is it a boy? My mother clocked my tea. She said, is it a boy? I was dumbfounded. I was like, what? Excuse me? A boy? I was like, yes. And basically that was confirmation for her that I was a homosexual. I was gay. That was my coming out story with my mother. My mother, like I said, as a child, she kind of nurtured my creativity, and she kind of, my mother, as when I was a kid, my mother would say things like, if my children ever come out gay, I would love you guys no matter what. So I think she was trying to throw me hints that she knew I was gay as a kid. But yeah, my mother put me in drag one day when I was like 8. Like, we were like at a hotel for some reason, and my father was away and my sister wasn't there, and she put me in full geesh. Like, I was full beat. Like, she put my foundation, concealer, lipstick, eyeliner, eyeshadow, brows. She made a homemade wig out of like pajamas, and she gave me one of her outfits that I had on a skirt and her heels, and she let me go outside the hotel room in her clothes. Like, it was like she put me in drag. So I think my mother kind of knew. My coming out with my sister was really laid back. Like, she knew I was gay. Like, my sister was like, my sister was a little bit more excited. Shout out to Jenna. My sister was a little bit more excited than I think she should have been. Like, she was kind of happy. My sister was like super supportive about me being gay. Now, the difficult part of my coming out came from, we'll get to the easy part. The easy part of coming out was coming out. Like, I was out in school. I was out in life with my mother and my sister. I was out. Like, I wore rainbow everything in school. Everybody knew in high school that Maurice was gay. So the hard part was my father and my stepfather. My stepfather was not pleased. Even though I think he knew I was gay, I think the confirmation bothered him. We had a lot of altercations. We had a lot of arguments that were very fueled by him not liking the fact that I was an out gay person. I kind of understand, because him coming up, that was just not, a black man in Baltimore is not gay. That's not what you should be to them, because it's like the ultimate like target on your back. So I can understand that we had a lot of arguments, but he came around eventually. And my birth father, I never had an actual conversation with him about that. Never had an actual discussion about it with him. I know that he talked to my mother about it, and she basically outed me to my father, and he told her that she told me, he told her, like, I don't care that he's gay, like, that's my son, and it is what it is, like, I still love him. And God rest his soul, we never talked about me being gay. Never. He never brought it up. I never brought it up. That was it. He knew. I knew he knew, and that was it. And I love him for that, because he didn't make it a problem. He didn't have an issue. My father had gay friends growing up. Like, my father was, one of his best friends was a drag queen. He was at peace with it because he had friends that were gay. So, but we just never had that discussion. I wish we did, but we never had a discussion. But yeah, my coming out story isn't as dramatic. I was never put out, or you know, I never had somebody try to exorcise the homosexual demons out of me or anything. So my coming out was kind of like laid back. It was a couple rough patches here and there, but me and my family got through it and got over it really quickly. And I think it's because they were kind of prepared, because like I said earlier, I was a very feminine young boy. But somebody asked me to do a coming out story, and I did. And hope you guys enjoyed it. I want you guys to make sure that you subscribe to my channel. I want to make sure that you guys like this video and comment on this video and share this video. And stop playing with me. Share the video. Thank you for watching Hey Sis TV. And you guys have a good night, a good day, a good week, a good weekend, whatever time is happening right now when you're watching this. I hope you enjoy it.